Maseches Brachos Daf Ches. The Gemara says that if Sheshes, when the tzibur was saying Kriyas HaTorah, he was mahader apei v'goros. He would turn his head and he would learn. Tosfos asks that the Gemara says in Saita that once the Sefer Torah is open, it's also to talk even Divrei Torah. So how is Rav Sheshes allowed to come and turn around his head and learn? So Tosfos says three terutzim, and the Rishonim, there are a few other terutzim, and the Rishonim, these terutzim are brought halacha in Shulchan Aruch. Tosfos says three terutzim. His first teretz is that it's only forbidden to speak b'kol ram, loud, quietly aloud. Second teretz is that if there is a minyan listening, then you're allowed to learn, you're allowed to talk. But if there's no minyan besides you, then you're not allowed. And Tosfos' third teretz is that if Sheshes was different, since he was Teirasoi Ubnasoi, so therefore he was parted from listening to Kriyas HaTorah. So now Tosfos' second teretz, that there was a minyan without him, the Shibbolei Aleket, brought in the Beis Yosef and the Bialacha, ask a very strong question. What does it make a difference there was 10 people without him? Sheshes was also obligated in Kriyas HaTorah. So the fact that there was a minyan without him, why does it allow him to go learn? So the Bialacha says that it's talking about if Sheshes already heard Kriyas HaTorah in a different minyan. Since he heard Kriyas HaTorah in a different minyan, he wasn't obligated to listen. But nevertheless, if there wouldn't have been a minyan without him, he would have had to listen. The Emek Bracha says, you see from this teretz, a chiddush in the basic geder, in what the obligation of Kriyas HaTorah is. He says, Yesh Lachkar, is Kriyas HaTorah an obligation on each and every yochid? Every person individually has to hear Kriyas HaTorah, has to say Kriyas HaTorah themselves. A way you do the mitzvah is you do the mitzvah with a tzibur. Or no. The whole entire obligation to say Kriyas HaTorah is with a tzibur. The tzibur is mechuyev to say Kriyas HaTorah, but each and every individual is not chayiv in Kriyas HaTorah. So he says that if you understand that it's a choivas tzibur and each individual is not mechuyev to listen to Kriyas HaTorah, you can understand very beautifully. Since there's a minyan without him, so he was allowed to turn around and learn himself. Baruch Ber and Birchas Shmuel and Yevamis brings from a Chaim this Chakira is the Chi of Kriyas HaTorah, a Choivas Tzibur or a Choivas Yachid. And he says in Nafkamina, Nafkamina is what happens if you have a majority of a Tzibur, you have let's say 6 people that didn't hear Kriyas HaTorah, could they bring together and say Kriyas HaTorah with the halacha of Rubei Kekula? Roiv of a minyan is like the entire minyan. So Chaim says that it depends. If it's a choivas yachid, so each person by themselves is mechuyev to say Kriyas HaTorah, so then you could have put together a minyan through that with the halacha of Rubei Kekula. But if the entire obligation to say Kriyas HaTorah is on the tzibur together, there's an entire tzibur that needs Kriyas HaTorah, they're obligated to say Kriyas HaTorah. So then it can't say Rubei Kekuloi. There's no roiv, there's no majority that needs a Kriyas HaTorah. There's zero. The key of Kriyas HaTorah is on a tzibur. You don't have a tzibur, you only have a few people. The Goin in Sidar Gra in Shabbos, he says his mashma the chiv is a chovas yachid. He says if a yachid when he's listening and he misses a word, didn't fulfill his mitzvah, his mashma it's a chiv on a yachid to hear Kriyas HaTorah. It's not a chovas tzibur, and that's mashma the Moshe like that. Now in Rabbeinu Yoina says a different teretz to this Tosfos, this kasha, and it's a tremendous chiddush in the basics understanding of what the Chi of Kriyas HaTorah is. Ben Yonis says like this. He says that Rav Sheshes was a saginor. Rav Sheshes was blind. Since he was blind, so therefore he was potter from Kriyas HaTorah. Why? Because al klal is dvorim shebiksav iater shayv loim al peh. Divrei Torah can't be said al peh. So therefore, even if he would hear Kriyas HaTorah from the tzibur, he's not obligated to listen because it's dvarim shebiksav that's saying al peh because he's listening. He's not listening. He can't look inside. So that has a status of dvarim shebiksav bal peh. So therefore, he didn't have to listen to Kriyas HaTorah. That is Ben Yona's teretz. The Shelas Yavitz discusses this idea from Ben Yonah at length. He says the Taz says that someone that's blind could get an aliyah because although he himself can't say over the Kriyas HaTorah, but he could listen. Halacha Shemei Ka'oina, Shemei Ka'oina has a status as if he's saying himself. Since he's saying himself, so therefore he could get an aliyah. However, the Shelas Yavitz in Shtuva says it's not true. He says the halacha is dvarim shebiksav iater shaylam al peh. So he is listening to the Korah, but that his listening has a status of him saying it bal peh, which you can't be yotzer Kriyas HaTorah with that. So in this idea, Ben Yonah, you see a tremendous chiddush in the basics of Kriyas HaTorah. In Sefer Tzion Torah, it has a chakira. What is the chiyuv Kriyas HaTorah? Is it a chiyuv kriya that everybody in the tzibur has to say it, and the way the yotze is with Shemei Ka'oina? Is Shemei Ka'oina gives them the status that they're saying it, or no? They only have to listen. They have to listen to the kriya that's said by the shliach tzibur. There are many rayas. The Ram says it's only a chiv shmiyah. The Rama is mashma like that. But in this Rebbeinu Yonah is mashma. It's clear that it's a chiv kriya, and therefore a summa can't have a kriya b'toich haksav. And there's another major kasha on this Rebbeinu Yonah and the Yavitz. This goes to the basics of what Shemei Ka'oina is. That Chazon Ish says that Shemei Ka'oina, if somebody hears a Megillah Mitoich HaKsav from the Shliach Tzibur, a Kiddush ala Kois, so the Kiddush ala Kois stellt sich zu as Mesiaches also to the Mevarech. So according to that, why wouldn't it be the same thing by Kriyas HaTorah Mitoich HaKsav? That the Kriyas HaTorah Mitoich HaKsav, although the Shomeya doesn't have a status of a Kriya Mitoich HaKsav, he should get the Kriya Mitoich HaKsav from the Mevarech. So the Har Tzvi says, you see from the Shelas Yavitz Ben Yonah, like the opinion of Beis Halevi, we spoke about on that base, that Shemei Ka'oina doesn't give a kohen a halacha of Nesias Kapayim B'Kol Ram, because he himself has to say Nesias Kapayim B'Kol Ram, and he's not doing that. But you still have to understand why is it different than Megillah Mitoich HaKsav or Kiddush ala Kois. So the Har Tzvi says Megillah Mitoich HaKsav. You have to say the Megillah is only a chayvas shmiyah, not a chayvas kriya. So he's not going to mitzad the halacha of Shemei Ka'oina. He has a shmiyah. And Kiddush ala Kois, Har Tzvi says a tremendous chiddush that since one of the mesubim in front of you has a kois, that gives you the status of a Kiddush ala Kois.